Okay, I'm chilled out.
Hello, and
Did the stream
welcome.
just start with someone who wasn't even on it?
Yes,
Yes, perfect. That's a new low.
or a new high. Welcome to Jarviskjir Horde of Plenty, where no one's here. Just got the Classico boys.
Horn of Empty.
Horn of Empty.
Have you been waiting for that? Or
That's
have you
such
just
a
thought
perfect joke.
I only just thought of it, actually. It was
That's
it was
so
inspired.
good.
I'd like to thank my family, Carry on. That one wasn't quite so inspired.
You had your 20, then you had your 1. We will probably have Doxy join us later. We won't have a Dean, so this is how it is. You may remember at the end of last session that you split the party into 2 groups of 2 that don't work very nicely when there's only 2 people here.
So now
well,
we've
that's
got
a whole
2 groups
thing.
of 1 and an NPC.
No, I am not. Gale is not picking up the slack in this situation. I do not have the mental energy to there was one way we could do this if it's just Ian and me playing Richter and me playing Gale, and I ain't doing that. Straight up, nah, that's not happening.
I'll play Richter as well. There we go.
I just want to
I'll
question
play
why Dane is just Mother's Horn, a small continent, but Doxy's the mainland.
You know why that was? It's because I was trying to find the image I often put up with the kobolds, and I realized I'd put it in my backup save data, so I can't get it.
I
and
love
put it
that
on here.
image.
Yeah, I have to go and fish it up from the depths of my external hard drive.
It's like fishing. Get out your Switch. Get your island. Go to the shore. Check the weather condition.
Pick up some, what is it, Manila clams for
Manila
fish
clams.
bait or something.
Yeah.
I don't even play Animal Crossing. I just.
Well, let's just say the Animal Crossing community is very excited because swimming will be enabled soon.
No, Zoe is very excited about it. I tell you, I know that because I was made to sit there pressing A while doing something else while Zoe went off and made tea or something. Just going, duh, make fishing bait.
Oh, damn. When you're used as an auto clicker. That's abuse right there.
That's relationship goals right there. So we're gonna we can do content today. We're gonna have to do some shuffling around. We're gonna have to go and remember the last 5 minutes of the last episode didn't happen. We're gonna have Torn and Amaryllis going off on their own adventure. And Belle can join later. Richter, I guess, is going back home to his family or something. Something lame, something not interesting or fun. No. I don't even feel like horribly insulting Richter, like that reoccurring joke where every time Neil missed a session, his character was just peeing in the woods for an entire week.
For a long time.
Drank a lot of water. What can I say?
He can put away a lot, Anis.
Well hydrated.
That was Nuri, so you could argue that he was wild shaped into a giant lizard or something, drank a lot of water, and then turned back into a human. Well, it's just gotta come out
straight away.
Straight away.
Like a 3-second grace period.
Do you know there's a theory a scientific theory that no matter the size of the animal, it always takes on average 20 seconds to empty your bladder.
I guess that's because your tubing's a bit bigger.
It's just how the tubes work.
That's going to come up in a pub quiz one day, and I'll be like, yeah, I know that because of Ollie.
That
Thanks,
is a pub quiz fact, isn't it?
But also that's on average, there's always going to be that one guy who takes 2 seconds, and then one guy who takes 2 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
These outliers. God damn.
So, what I should ask of you... Actually, quick update of last session. You are going around the rest of the valley trying to get help because the Minotaur are about to attack under the command of Malchus. You're trying to get everyone to work together. You just did that with the gnomes in fighting a big old magical golem that the gnomish sneaky evilman was using. But you have 2 more peoples to go and talk to. It would be convenient if you could go and split into 2 groups and talk to both at once, but I guess that's not possible. So the 2 groups you need to continue to go out and see and try and convince are the Aarakocra, who are bird people, who live at the end of the valley, not actually very far from Clearkeep, and then the Gwaelings, who are the otter folk who live on the river themselves, who are increasingly aggressive, very bitey. So, I think you probably would be going to talk to the Aarakocra first. That's kind of where Torrin and Bell were going to head off to beforehand. I think that's the one that makes the most sense to go and see.
I agree, because Gwaelings are very, I've heard tell that they're extremely bitey.
They are.
And I've always been taught when facing a creature that is, quote, bitey, to bring at least 3 to 4 people with you. But no more than 10, because then your numbers work against you and they get under your feet, and the bitiness just,
Sure.
You never see an adventuring party bigger than 10.
Maggie had a D&D party that was like 12 players big.
Oh my lord.
Apparently it worked very well.
Yeah, I've heard they can.
I can see it with the right
It would be a very different type of game.
Mm-hmm.
So, off to the end of the valley. Belle is scouting, you know. She's around. She's sneaking. She's so tiny, sometimes you just lose her, you know, like Thumbelina. But you guys will head off to the Aarakocra village at the end of the valley. Now, one of the reasons why Belle is here on this mission, she's definitely here right now, is because she knows where they live. To say the end of the valley is pretty vague. I don't think she's had any interactions with them before, because they very much keep themselves to themselves. But they are close enough to Clearkeep that on a clear day from Clearkeep, the gnomish settlement and the valley, you can see the waterfall at the edge of the valley. So that's where you're heading off to. Why don't you 2 give me perception checks? Or survival checks. Whichever floats your rowboat.
Well, I guess I got all my luck on Monday.
Oh yeah, Ian on the Monday session had crazy luck, and everyone else had terrible luck.
3 crits in a row. I mean, the thing is, I get periods like that as well, because I did that with Amaryllis like a couple of months ago. I got 3 crits in a row. So
it happens. Okay, ignore that third dice roll. That didn't happen at all. As you're traveling, you have a good view of the river, right? Where you guys are living, actually, the river is sort of not that bad. It's clearly not as clean and pristine as it was when you were wee babs or a sapling. Just wait for the Jarviskjir babies stream where everyone is like toddlers.
There's just a tiny like little plant.
Plotted plant. Yeah. It's not even a baby Groot. It's just like a little.
Yeah.
With a little flower. But up this way, where the river water is coming in, the signs of corruption are a little different. You know, up where you are, the water's just kind of slowed and darkened. But here, in this sort of area, which is also less hilly, it's a little flatter. You can see on the banks of the river, basically just toxic sludge starting to build up, where it would just lap and push and push. And where these banks would probably actually have Gwaeling homes, which you've seen dot along the river, not the river. Now it has these banks of purplish, blackish, straight up pollution and sludge and poison. It started to well up from the ground and just become these mounds. There's no plant life or anything in those areas, aside from bugs. Bugs aren't plants. You could definitely see a lot of, like swarms of flies around the areas attracted to the pollution. And Torin, you actually think you may see movement sort of within the pools of stagnant water that were forming. And this would actually come back to a memory of something Amaryllis warned you about of bog trolls, also known as scrags, that are attracted to stagnant, poisoned water, and they make it worse. They are attracted to it and then make the problem worse just via their nature. And you think that this is just going to be a breeding ground for bog trolls soon enough. There might even be some there now. But that's just something you notice on your way to the Aarakocra village.
I do just want to check. We left Clearkeep literally like as soon as we'd had the battle and the talk with. Okay, 1 HP, 0 spell slots.
Do you want to take a short rest?
That might be a useful thing. Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, you might want to take a short rest. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
1, 2.
We like see the bug trolls and we're like, good place to hunker down.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why you notice it so much, because you rest up and you can kind of look and see this area.
That'll do. Puts me at 1 below max.
That'll do, donkey.
The only other person missing HP is Richter, and who cares?
Richter.
Richter dies on the way back to his home planet. After your bandaging and rest, you can continue making your way to the tribe of Aarakocra that live on the waterfall. And you can see the waterfall. The weather was not great, and Belle probably would even tell you that, like, yeah, you can usually see them from here. But there is a dark cloud hanging over the sky of late. But you get to an area where the fog and stuff sort of dissipates, and you can see the waterfall that feeds the valley, the river that goes through the valley that usually would flow, but a little bit of pollution. Not a problem. As with the mountainsides I've sort of described when you were traveling, it's a lot of harsh rock, very sort of jagged and geometric. Naturally weathered by water and snow and stuff, but still very harsh. It's almost just like a incline. But there's the waterfall. From up above, all this water streams down and cascades down the rocks and weathers them and sort of bounces off and creates all this froth of water down to a pool at the bottom, which is really a small lake. That's actually clean. It's actually clean, pristine water as it would be. Because the water here, the water upriver is not polluted. Wherever the source of this river is, which is, probably trickling down many mountains at once. It's only when it flows downwards. So the pool at the bottom of the waterfall is as it would be. Nearly so clean you can see the like stones and pebbles that make up the water. But as you're sort of getting closer, you can even see areas where you can see the purple ooze kind of flow through the water like grasping tendrils. Beside the waterfall, on either side, is the Aarakocra village. And it really does look like large-sized bird nests. The kind of bird nests where birds make like a sphere with like a hole in it for entrance and exit. It's literally those to the size of, 8 to 10 feet. Made out of branches and wood and all weaved. It's not... it's done with a high degree of skill in this artistry to make it actually you know, that they're strong. They'd have to be. You know, there's heavy snows, heavy rains, even the waterfall is a kind of danger. There is no way to walk up into the Aarakocra village. There are walkways between them, for some reason, if someone couldn't fly, or the young who can't fly. But the ground would be dangerous to these people, so there is no walkway down. There is only this series of these buildings, and some of them, the nests kind of connect to others and make like a sort of extra room, and there's the walkways that travel sometimes between areas of the waterfall. It's a whole well-made little settlement. And you can see the folk around. You can see the Aarakocra. If you don't know what an Aarakocra is, I don't blame you. So let me give you a very basic description. In simple terms, they are bird humanoids. They have the sort of the physical features of a regular humanoid, and then the wings. So they do have hands. They're not quite as good at... They're not like human hands. They are like bird hands. Almost like an extra set of claws upon the hands. So they're not as good at fine tool work, but they don't need to be. Their bodies are coated in feathers. The ones here look like sort of mountain eagles and things. In different tribes, in different areas, they kind of resemble more like other birds. Not exactly, but most of these look like that, and they have the wide wings upon their backs. It is winter, so most of them are wearing, you know, warm winter parkas and things made out of whatever beasts of the valley they can kill and tan and all that sort of thing. And it also goes, you didn't sneak to your approach hit. You can see them, they can see you. Definitely one or two of them have kind of stopped at little platforms near the bottom of the village to kind of keep a better eye on you. From the kind of lore dumps you got, but you probably got them 10 sessions ago, both the Aarakocra and the Greylings keep them themselves. The Aarakocra are not aggressive. They just have no real interest in a relationship with other peoples. So they don't trade. They don't talk with the gnomes or anything like that. It's kind of like a live and let live. As long as you don't cause us any trouble, and the gnomes definitely aren't doing that, then they won't give you any trouble. Which is also why they're not coming down to talk to you, because that's kind of not completely got a precedent. What do you guys want to do?
I imagine the waterfall's quite loud.
Yes, the waterfall is quite loud. I was actually about to go get a waterfall sound effect to play loudly in the background. But it is quite loud. It's not, you know, it's not Niagara Falls. It's because it has all the kind of cascading areas and stuff. It's not just one. But yeah, it is a large waterfall. It has a degree of loudness and also brings up a lot of mist, refreshing mist into the air.
Well, they've not attacked, which is a good sign.
Not unexpected, though. We will need to do something to rouse their interest full enough for them to speak with us. Do you wish to shout? Or I could send up a little spirit to pique their interest. It cannot speak, though, so they may interpret that as an act of aggression.
Isn't it a little rude to invade their village? Maybe some food. I'm not much of a hunter, but I'm sure we could gather together some berries, nuts, maybe some roots, that sort of thing. I mean, if we come across a boar, say a second boar, then maybe we could offer them that as well.
It is winter, so hunting is difficult, but that is always an option.
Bearing gifts might make it go more smoothly, yes.
We're near the mountain's edge, right? So to speak.
Yeah, the valley, because it kind of tapers inwards. It's almost like there's a little bit of a kind of like Cliffs of Dover area, right? Where the cliffs are very flat here, but it is still, and there is a degree of wideness, but it's still probably the thinnest part of the valley. So you could get up to the mountain's edge quite easily.
It's the dead of winter. We need their help, and we need to prove that we are worthy of their help as well. And we need to make an impact on their community while my little cutie is kneading in the background.
Oh, you're so cute. Biscuits.
What if we headed up towards the mountain, found a cave or two, had a look, see if we couldn't find us something big, a bear, something hibernating. It would prove our worth as hunters. We wouldn't really have to hunt it, and it would be a great help to them over winter. Fur, fat, meat. Possibly. I can't think of much else. I'm not going to be able to track anything out here.
In terms of grabbing their attention, I do not think we could do much better. And yes, I believe that I stand much better chance seeking a solitary animal that is asleep than I do trying to pursue the tracks of one.
So we're settled.
Amaris just nods and sort of turns and starts moving at an Amaryllis pace off towards.
Cave. We need a cave. That's what we're looking for. The more the better. The more the merrier.
The more cave, the better.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
are you
we
looking?
don't
Are you
want
looking for volumetric space or
I'd
size
like
of
it to be-
entrance?
Yeah.
We don't want
I
a
think-
more cave. That'll probably lead down to like an ankeg nest or something. Remember
Oh,
what
yeah,
that
that's
happens.
true, yeah.
All right. Well, why don't
Yeah,
we?
just
Why don't we take a
volumetric,
little?
I think.
We could take a wicked quick break to get Foxy in here and then see what she thinks.
Might also be useful for a potential survival role.
Yeah, if you could go hunt something, add the ranger. All right, one sec.
sorry that I overslept.
Let's go. It's fine. Sleep is important.
Will be deducted from your pay.
It's good that you're here because their plan to get the Aarakocra on their side. Basically, I don't know how much you saw. You've gone up to the Aarakocra village, which is on a waterfall. They've not sent anyone up down to talk to you. There is no way up other than like a difficult climb, perhaps. So their idea is to hunt something to offer to them as like a show of peace. Because it's the middle of winter, like a bear or something.
Would I know what their favorite kind of food is?
That is a good question that I will allow a nature roll, but I almost hope you get a bad roll, because then I'd have to think of an idea of what the hell Aarakocra's favorite food is. But yes.
I hope I get a good roll, because I always roll my Also, it's a natty 20, bud. Sorry.
Hot damn. Okay.
Well, they like only the finest pine cones from the
Well,
tallest
there's-
pine
let
trees
me-
on the top.
Let me do the most asshole-ish move, whereas, Doxy, what do you think they would like as their favorite food?
Ooh,
And I will also
reversal
offer...
card, baby.
Venison. I think it would be venison.
Yeah, venison absolutely would be, they would be fast, hunting deer from the sky would be a little bit more difficult. And there's also the other option I will offer. While they were getting there, everyone, and you were there as well, you encountered near the edge of the area the Aarakocra kind of have. They have like this pool of water at the bottom of the waterfall. All the sludge of the poison of the river is building up, and bog trolls are attracted to those areas. So if you're interested in more of a fight than a hunt, if there are bog trolls in that area, they would have encountered them, and if you kill it and like bring the body back, that would be an obvious sign of, look, we're on the same side here.
Okay. I would present this information to the boys, and I would say, I think we ought to do both. It'll take me no time to hunt a deer. And with all of us against a bog troll, we stand little chance of failure.
Seems like unnecessary risk, but if you think it's worth it.
I think if the hunt goes well, then it would certainly be worth it.
We want to do the hunt second, so that the meat does not spoil.
Amaris nods at that and yes, of course. My apologies. It is not often that I need to feed. But yes, if we can achieve both of these things, then they will be better disposed to us. And although I do not think this is the group that we will have difficulty convincing, it is best to eliminate as many possibilities as we can.
Torn, if you're scared, or if you don't want to, then we don't have to. We can try the deer first, and if it doesn't work, then go for the bog troll. It just
I wouldn't
feels...
say I'm scared. I was about to go and piss off a sleepy bear, but if that's what they will prove us to them, then that's what will prove us to them.
Alright. Let's find the bog troll.
Excellent.
This poke the sludgy water.
Yeah, exactly. You saw
By
the
way,
area where they're
you don't
likely
know
to...
how many of them there are.
Yeah. You saw the area where they're likely to sort of, for lack of a better term, spawn. So it's really just a case of going to that area. And to describe it again, not only because Dox is just here, but also because it's cool and relevant, this is where all of the sludge and corruption in the water is like pooling at the side, making this bank of like purple muddy sludge. And it would be incredibly unpleasant to travel through. And that's exactly what you will have to do if you end up getting into a fight with something. For, you know, like, humans like you, this is going to be very hard to traverse. You know, it's going to be kind of knee-deep and sticky and thick, and that's not even to mention the corrupting, poisoning effect of the stuff.
Then we wouldn't do it. That's just stupid. We just would not do it. There's no way that we would be like, okay, yeah, let's fight something in this. We would either...
You don't have to get in the sludge.
Well, you said that's where you would have to be if you were fighting something.
You'd have to be in the area where the sludge is.
Okay. I was gonna... yeah, there's no way that Balara would be like, yeah, okay, I'm cool with this. Yeah, let's fight here.
The obvious strat would be to lead something out.
Like bait. Yeah. Find bait or something.
That's a really good idea.
Do I know?
What do bog trolls eat?
Luckily, you've had enough encounters with trolls. I'm going to give you this one. Also, you got a 20 before. Any, like, fresh meat that's easy to get. Like, if you could get a good big fish or something. And
So
especially
now we
because...
go hunt a deer.
Well, the area of river, like, right here is quite clean and pristine and would be quite easy to find a big fish. I just like saying big fish as well, I gotta be honest.
Didn't we get a net at one point? Does anybody have a net in their
I
inventory?
think Richter might have a net.
Obviously.
Richter is not here.
I have a spear. We could try spear fishing.
Are we talking about going closer to the Aarakocra and taking fish from their pool?
If you did that, it would be easier. If you wanted to go, you know, not all the way up to the lake, then it'd be a little harder, but might be less problematic.
Yeah, because I don't want to like just turn up and be like, "Lol, we're taking your like one of the safest last resort food sources you have about."
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. That is very valid opinions to have.
So we hunt a bear to catch the fish, to catch the bog troll, to catch the Aarakocra, to catch the dragon.
The fish under a box and stick trap? That's not a bad plan. Ollie, can I go looking for giant wooden boxes? Is that just like a nature roll, or?
Yeah, they just like grow out here.
It's like you know those huge like the nuts that crack open in the middle. Just a huge one of those.
I mean, it's not even a bad idea. Like, if you can get the drop on something like this, it'll be so much easier to fight.
I was gonna do a simple trap out of my bag, out of my burglar's pack.
Oh yeah, you could absolutely use. I mean, do you have a trap in there? You can also use thieves' tools to build traps. You know,
I hate that. It always comes back to incense with Toro, but I've got 6 blocks of incense left. What if I just yeet that into the water?
Stink the troll out.
Yeah, like it won't like stinky stuff, right?
That's
like,
actually
nice
potentially
stuff, maybe
a genius idea, because that makes sense. What's going to attract a troll to this area? The smell. Because that's what you were worried about. Amaris told you that the poison will attract these trolls from a wide area away. How else would they know? Smell. That actually might be like the smartest idea anyone's had. Like ever.
I also do not have traps. I could have sworn I had traps in the burglar's pack. I wonder which pack it is that has it. My bad.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's one of those things you could make simple, like, little traps as well.
I have hempen rope. I could make a snare.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I also have ball bearings, so we could trip it.
Ball bearings are fantastic. Do not diss ball bearings.
Do you want to basically combine those ideas and try and lure it out of the swamp with the incense, with a yeet, and then set like a trap outside of the swamp and try and maybe bait it into it.
So we
Okay.
smoke it out the depths and lure it in.
This is rapidly becoming one of our brilliant plans that fails due to a bad roll.
So yeah, I've got a sensor and a block of incense, so we could set it up if we think that the stink will attract rather than scare them away.
Oh well, no, we want the smell to drive it out. So we do.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's clearly attracted to much different smells.
Exactly. So we can light
Stinky
we can light a few of these blocks of incense up and yeet them on, and hopefully they won't just sink instantly because they're
I mean, they're like
sludge.
waxy incense blocks, and there's the sludge as well. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they disintegrate a little bit before going in, then that'll be fine.
Cool. Belle, what's better, your survival skill or your thieves' tools roll?
Definitely my survival. My survival was insane.
Cool. Why don't you give me a survival roll to make, a snare trap? I mean, 14's still good. One
8,
sec.
not kind of stinky. 14. We take those.
You take a 14.
Disgusting.
How far away from the sludge are you kind of thinking? And I can even give you it on the map so that you can place it properly, like we kind of did with the coast giant, right? Just give me a sec. I put everyone on the map layer instead of the player layer. Player layer. Yeah. Me only. One sec. You have to drag maps. If you've got a game that's had a lot of maps, like a 20-session campaign like this, you have to drag them to the edge so that you can select them. It's like always a mild workout.
So we yeet our incense in.
Oh, I did
would
not
say-
set up the battle screen. Whatever.
I would say
You
10
do that. You plan. I'll fix this jank.
I would say like maybe 20 feet away. We'd set
Well,
the trap.
what's the sludge? Is the sludge the dark green?
Yeah, it's kind
sorry,
of
I
both,
missed
but
that.
yeah, like this river area here would understandably also be sludgy, right? It's just
Yeah,
you
this
know.
is.
I just want
as well, yeah.
0 chances of us getting stuck in that sludge.
Yeah. So
that's
you
how I
fight
would
like
set it.
away from it.
Yeah.
Is this big rock actually a? This is a strange question. This big rock is actually a big rock.
That big rock.
Yes, this big rock.
Yeah.
We could hide behind the big rock, put like the trap round here somewhere, and then hide on this side of it so the bog troll doesn't see us until it gets caught in the trap.
I was thinking of using my body as bait
Nice.
Obviously.
because
That's-
I'm gonna outrun a troll, right?
You
On land? Yeah, absolutely.
As long as we're not in the sludge. I can run over the trap and like jump over it.
Oh yeah, totally. It's your trap.
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Then
trap won't
we
hold
won't
it
know
for that
to.
long though, so we
Yeah,
Well,
we're
so
gonna have to
yeah.
stab him in the head immediately as soon as
I'd still suggest that the two slow people maybe hide behind the boulder.
Yeah, I don't disagree
Yeah,
with having
I
us
don't
around
disagree
here.
either at all.
I think maybe having the trap like around here.
Yeah, like near the rock. Oh, and then you run to like the cover of the rock and can fight it from there. Like, put
And
it,
then
like, here.
I nearly said then Adira. Then Belle would run up from the sludge over the
Yeah.
thing, and then we can run out.
And that makes
Right?
sense.
Even
Too. You
just
can maybe
pretend to be sleeping right here, like,
Sleep
and
against
he'll
the rock.
walk into it.
sleep loudly. Yeah. So cool.
Me.
Yeah, of course. This is a really good idea. So let's start it off. You're behind the rock. You yeet the block of incense. It splops into the sludge and starts to kind of dissolve and filter away. And you see from this area here, the sludge start to like bubble. And it's not pinging. That's annoying. The sludge start to like bubble. And from under the sludge, a bog troll comes up. It's actually like skinnier and smaller than the other trolls you've encountered before. Probably around 7 feet tall if it wasn't so hunched. And as it starts popping itself out of the sludge, it's reveals almost like a more of a frog-like posture compared to a regular troll, like the way it kind of moves on its legs as well. It kind of does actually, when it gets out of the sludge, starts awkwardly sort of hopping on the ground. It's very slow on regular land. But it's going to start its way towards the trap. You guys are going to kind of hide until it's trapped, right? So... what kind of role should it be for you to be bait here, Belara? I think... I mean, performance is the obvious one. If you have another idea, feel free to let me know.
I mean, I wasn't planning on acting much. I was just planning on being there, like, facing away from it. And then once I hear it, get close, get up and run.
Yeah,
that
it's
it
kind of
chases.
all included to, like, try and get it to run into the trap, right?
I want to argue. I would also say want to argue deception. Like
Deception,
yeah,
maybe even acrobatics as well, right? You're trying to lure
I choose
it in.
acrobatics.
Yeah, like you're trying to like dash over the rocks in such a way that it will follow you and fall in
Just
there.
like
So why don't you give me an
pretending to be
acrobatics
asleep,
roll?
just doing cartwheels on the spot.
In fact, why don't we do initiative first,
Sure.
acrobatics roll after? So it might, you know, it can't get up to you in this turn anyway. But it, you know, we'll see how it its opinions about things.
Not if it used Ultra Instinct. I bet it could then.
That was the ballsest initiative. But that's probably good, though.
I do
Yeah,
not
'cause-
need a nat 20 on this initiative.
I
means
assume
you
you
can
two
climb
aren't
up.
really going to be doing anything up there. You're not even on camera right now. They're up here. They're up by this big rock.
And not even on camera.
You two, are you going to do anything with your fast
No.
initiatives?
I could prepare an action.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't really have anything because I can't see. I've not got range.
Prepare to run up and just assassinate it and just slit its throat once it's
I mean,
in the
I
trap.
do not have a bladed weapon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Assassinate it. Bonk.
Bonk.
Just keeps moving.
I mean,
It's endless.
given that we're hiding behind a boulder, I can't really like prep a bow shot.
I agree.
so,
I want-
Yeah, in which case, just give me the acrobatics roll, Bell, and then like move to where
Sure.
you want to be in position after this. Perfect. Awesome. That absolutely gets the troll's attention, because, you know, it was preoccupied getting out of the stinky incense pit. Seeing you, like, kind of get up and you know, run in this way, you see its attention immediately turn to you. Even though it's kind of not as fast on land, it's definitely heading your way. Do you want to kind of, like, run up this way?
I think what I want to do is actually only end up right about here.
Yeah, so you're close.
Mm-hmm. And I will point my bow at it. Be like, don't come any closer. Don't you dare.
For the sake of argument, even though its speed is actually lower than this on land, let's assume it does get all the way up to the trap. Swoosh! You rolled a 14 on setting up the trap. It has to get better than a 14 to not get trapped. It rolls a 2.
Perfect.
So you set up the snare trap. It kind of gets in such a way where, because of how it's been sort of moving like a frog or some other kind of like amphibian, both of its arms and legs kind of enter the trap at the same time. And it's like, whoosh, and whisk it, like kind of snaps it shut, which means it is absolutely trapped there. It will start kind of trying to claw its way out, but feel free to start bonking it, team. Starting with Amaryllis.
Poke my head out from behind the rock.
The least bonkest.
The least bonkest. Gonna summon the Elder Familiar. I was thinking about just saying it's a frog, but I think it would be a newt. Obviously.
That'll be easy to find.
Oh, it is!
Yeah, okay, cool.
I mean, they're all funky newts.
Yes, funky newt.
Funky newt.
Funky newt.
Funky newt.
Like somewhere over there or something.
That was surprising. Wait, what did we struggle to find before? Like an owl?
You'd be surprised what
I
animals
remember
are hard
we
to
had to
find
use
on
a squirrel for a raccoon or something.
Yeah,
that was it.
And we found many interesting things instead. Okay, so Elder Familiar immediately goes zap.
Of
And
course.
I am going to fire my bow.
Yeah, it's a hit. It's adding up. I mean, even as a small troll or a small breed of trolls, scrags do get bigger. It still is quite hardy. But what you definitely don't notice is it's not regenerating. These regenerate faster in contact with water. You lured it out of the pond, which means it's going to be a lot easier to fight, unless it gets
Poor
back in the
baby.
water.
I'm PMSing, so this is hard for me. I don't want to kill stuff.
You could just knock it out and then give it to the Aarakocra to kind of do what they want with.
Hell, that's worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna go smother it in a hug. I'm just kidding.
Do you enjoy torturing creatures? Here is a creature. It is evil. Smile.
I mean,
We are
the
friends
rule
now.
book says it's chaotic evil, and I'm incapable of thinking beyond what the rule book tells me.
It's true, I've seen it time after time. I
Torrent.
try and reason with him. Oh, hello, cat. You might get some prime bum time.
I love bum time.
Keep that tail down, young lady.
Torrin, do you want to go and commit bonk now?
I would like to commit a bonk.
You might not even have
may I-
range. You
may-
might
may I
be too
pass
far
through
away.
your square.
No.
I'd like to
Yes, you
commit a
may.
bonk right now. Okay.
Get out of the way! Like a freaking orc in Warhammer.
I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so close.
If only he was a large troll. He's a small boy.
I would like to unload in his face. With a guiding bolt.
In a 5-foot range, that's pretty impressive.
That's not quite so impressive. Might hit though. He might actually have an AC of 12.
It's actually only just a miss. And that's because the bog troll is struggling so much. It's like rolling around, trying to get out of the net. The fins on its body are kind of like
There's a lot of
moving.
recoil on this bad boy. He's like, whoa! That's
Yeah, you don't
fair.
cast it very often. Bell.
I just wanna go slit its throat or like jab my daggers into each side of its head. I just wanna end it. Like I
Sure,
wanna
that's going to be an attack.
pull an assassination move.
There's no assassination mechanic in D&D 5e, but like I respect the gumption.
I wish there
I
was.
wouldn't be giving you a fight
Well, then I guess
a
I'm
fight
just
on a
gonna-
battle screen if you weren't if you could just end it instantly. That wouldn't be worth the time.
Then I'm just gonna shoot it. Like
Yeah.
there's no point in me using a fucking 1d4.
I wish there was.
I like
that's
the-
really
the,
fucking stupid.
I
that there
like
isn't.
the assassination mechanic in Stars What Number, and if I was to like really overhaul D&D, which I'm not going to because it just makes it more complicated for people, I would use that one where if you are undetected by someone for a minute, you can just do an instant kill on them.
Yeah. I like it.
And it even has it even has like paragraphs of like, well, if it's a boss, then it does X and Y, you know.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
It's not always instant, but that's a hit.
Or like if something's trapped. It's just
It's
feels-
trapped, but it could,
feels
you
like
know,
it's
it's
lit up
very
throughout.
likely that it could get out. It's also a
It's only
troll.
snare.
Like, yeah, that's a hit though.
If you snared me and tried to stab me, you can guarantee I'd bite you.
One of the reasons why this is more of a fight is, you know, if the troll can get back in the water, it can regenerate, and then that's a whole situation. It's also going to have a... I was going to say it's going to have an easier time getting out, because it was Dex to not get trapped, has bad Dex, has good strength, but it rolled a 1. So the troll is still trapped for now. You might be able to get it out of the way instantly, if you don't
This
keep
poor
using-
troll has worse luck than Ian.
Don't jinx it. I had very good luck
Amaryllis.
on Monday.
Did you? Oh, that's
I
awesome.
did. It happens occasionally. I get bursts of good luck, which means I'm not going to get any this session. Standard procedure.
It's a hit.
Zap.
Right now, the MVP for highest damage is Amaryllis. Torrent.
I am going to 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna club him. That club. That's the one right there.
Excellent.
Donk.
He is not a dragon.
He should. Can you double check?
Lift his tail.
Bell. We'll swish through it unless he gets out. Because otherwise it's kind of like a mathematical certainty.
Fuck!
He's struggling. Alright, let me use a more troll-appropriate dice. Not, okay. With 2 1s in a row, you actually do get what you want. And after it kind of keeps on struggling, Bell, you can get up into the right position and just do a kind of finishing blow upon it. And put the troll out of its misery.
Let's give it to Torin. Torin crushes his head. Torin's right there.
What the hell? No.
You can do a combo, a friend attack.
Tara watches this poor creature struggling in the trap. Belle walks
have it.
over, clasps its head in between her thighs, and squeezes until its head explodes.
This is what happens. This is what happens. I shoot an arrow, right? It happens as you're swinging.
I'm
the
not hammering
arrow
that arrow in.
goes into its brain and kills it outright. The end. That's the end of what
The
I was
end.
saying.
Good. I mean, you strategized. Easy peasy.
I could see how that was going to end. Torren would have hit that arrow. It would have shattered. A splinter would have gone in his eye. It's a classic jousting accident. Wood splinters in the eye. He'd have been blinded. He'd have got infected. GG.
Cool.
Okay, awkward smiles all around.
My brain is still in Monty Python reference mode after saying Newt earlier, and now I've just got an image of like at the end of Holy Grail with the police turning up, like, did you murder this defenseless bog troll? No, it was a jousting accident.
You can start bringing this back to the Aarakocra tribe. This is actually an excellent place for us to take a real break. And I can get a nice cold, refreshing Diet Coke. So I'll be back in a bit.
You've already had a coffee, young man. I'm cutting
Yes.
you off.
You can't stop me. I'm a free man. Ish.